Alright everyone, this is Ash. Welcome back to the King's Speech. So I just finished recording a kaiju video and another Yona of the Dawn volume read-through. We're going to dive into Yona of the Dawn volume 24 here in just a second. Just a quick couple of channel stuff before I dive into it here though. The first being tomorrow, since Shonen Jump is back from its break, I expect a reaction to the new Akane Banashi chapter, as well as Spy Family. I'm also going to try to get around to 2 more volumes of Yona of the Dawn tomorrow as well, because like I mentioned in a couple of my other videos, I'm doing my best to try to get as caught up as possible by the start of February, so I can start adding some more read-throughs back to the series. The current plan right now is for Battle Angel Alita Mars Chronicle to be the next one I tackle, but I need some time to kind of refresh my memories on Last Order and the other stuff before I dive back into that, so look forward to that. Apart from that, like I mentioned in my other videos as well, I'm trying to be more consistent with channel creation and all that stuff this year. So if you haven't already, please do consider commenting, subscribing, all that good stuff on these videos. Because with the YouTube algorithm, it really likes for you to push those buttons because it tells it that these videos are worth promoting, which in turn helps me out a lot in trying to grow the channel and my reach as well. So if you've enjoyed my content, if you like it, please do consider doing all of that stuff, because I would greatly appreciate it. Because again, like I said, this year I try to get the channel growing a little bit more as I'm trying to be more consistent with putting out more content. So yeah, if you want to help me out with that, that'd be greatly appreciated. So without further ado, let's get into it with Yona of the Dawn, Volume 24, with story and art by Mizuho Kusanagi. Oh, let's apologize. My throat sounds a little hoarse. My voice sounds a little hoarse. I caught a cold bug last week, and I've been kind of fighting it off the last couple of days. So yeah, my voice is kind of shot a little bit, so I'm not going to be doing too much screaming or shouting. But yeah, just in case you're wondering why my voice sounds weird. So yeah, let's get into it with chapter 135, A Familiar Face. As Yona's like, Ogi, it's like, Huck, do you know him? And he's like, he's a backstreet informant in Kuto. I met him when I was a kid. I'd bet he still has ties with Suwon. He's like, hey now, what's that about? I don't know any Suwon. It's like, right, you meet with Juan, don't you? You just pretend not to know who he really is. He's like, why are you gathering intel on Shing, huh? Suwon asked you to do that, didn't he? So you tried to run away when you saw me because you'd heard about what happened to me and Her Highness. And Ogi's like, even I don't know everything. I had no idea you were still alive, General Huck. Same goes for Princess Yona. And he's like, why did you think we were dead? He's like, well, the story everyone's heard is Huck murdered King Il and disappeared with Princess Yona, right, Ogi? But you thought something else, didn't you? You figured Suwon was the one who actually killed King Il, and that he killed me and the princess too. And Ogi's like freaking out. He's like, wait! As he just slumps on a table nearby, he's like, yeah, the possibility occurred to me, but I didn't know for sure. I never thought... I tried to keep from getting involved in anything risky. Yeah, but well, Princess Yona and General Huck are among the living. What do they want me to do? And Yona's like, we want you to arrange a meeting with Suwon. So you want me to help you take revenge for what he did to King Il? Yona's like, no. This has nothing to do with a personal grudge. It's far more important than that. You're the only one I can count on right now. All I want is to meet with Suwon. Please help us with this, for the sake of both Koka and Shing. And you see back in San-san, it's like, are these enough bandages? Oh my god, what a sick fuck. As Yuan's like, yes, thank you. Like, so now will you reward me? I want to see Zeno come back to life. I'd also like to cut off his arm. Will it reattach? Yuan's like, that's not... It's like, alright. Zeno will reach between the bars so you can cut it. It's like, Zeno! It's like, wait a second. And Jaeha's like, I'll show you something much more interesting. It's like, now watch closely. Oh, God. And you see dun dun dun. He's slowly taking off his boot. And Yuan's like, huh? Jaeha, are you actually? You never do that. I feel this is a cheat. This is an absolute cheat. And you have a little, please stand by. And you see Mizari's face just like all sparkling. He's like, what was that? Such a massive green leg. And you see tucking his foot back into his boot. I feel cheated. This is a scam. It's like, enjoyed that, did you? And you see all the dragon warriors just like leering around, staring at his legs. Like everyone's first time seeing this, except Xeno, who's seen other green dragons enlarge their legs. That was incredible. How wonderful. How do you enlarge it? If I trained hard, could I do it too? And you hear, could you bring us some meat dishes? Like meat dishes? It's like, Jeha's gotten awfully anemic. Some liver from a cow or a bird would be best. And you see Mazari jump running off to get them food. He's like, they're so demanding. And you hear, God, what was the pretty boy's name? I know it starts with a Y, but I cannot for the life of me remember what it was. Whatever pretty boy's name was. Oh, Yotaka. He's like, Mizori. He's like, oh, Sir Yotaka, listen, the green one's late. It's like, stop slacking off and show up at the training grounds. It's like, things are so busy right now. And you see Mizori's bought them a roasted bird. It's like, here's some meat. It's like, wow. Like, is it tasty? It's like, yeah, thanks. And you see I was like, take it easy, Gita's just like literally shoving food into Jeha's face. It's like, do you feel invigorated? And you see a shiver, Sinha shivering. And it's like, here's some blankets. I wouldn't want you to freeze to death. So, thanks. So I'll watch Xeno resurrect himself another time. He kind of just like happily, jauntily runs off. And you're just like staring at him in like confusion, surprise. And you see back at Hiryu Palace, you have, hey, King Suon, could I borrow this book on the legend of our nation's founding? It's like, of course. Riri, how long are you going to be staying here at Hiryu Palace? It's like, just a little while. I keep meaning to ask you, how did you already know what I looked like? We only met for the first time in Sensui. It's like, actually, it's like he was invited to a festival at Suiko Palace a few years ago, and you see, was it? For father, I cannot for the life of me remember his name off the top of my head. I want to say Jungi. Jungi is just like trying to play match. He's like, King Suon. Like, oh, that's my daughter. Isn't she beautiful? And he's like, it's like, you were suggested as a potential bride. She's like, huh? What, seriously? It's like, well, it's good that you're not hiding how you feel about the idea. It's like, don't worry, I'm not interested. She's like, okay. That stupid old... And Riri's like, that stupid old man? That's why you wanted me to visit the palace? And you hear, my lord. Yeah, but thank you very much. And Suwon's handed a letter. And she's like, hey, next time you go see Ogi, take me with you. You wanted to ask him about Xing, right? About what's happening there? And you see Suwon's kind of preoccupied with something. Rizri is staring at him. So what's the matter? It's like, nothing. And he crumples up the letter. It's like, you can't go to Ogi's. You'd probably make too much noise. Oh, you'd probably make too much noise. Like, no, I won't. He's like, you could take that book with you, but get going, please. And he pushes her out of the library. And he's like, Eep! And he's like, I'm so sorry. And you see... Is that Minsui? Who she knocks into. He's like, and his eyes are just like glazed over. It's like, how was it fall to? And he just bows and like slowly walks away like a zombie. And Riri's like, he's moving a bit stiffly. Perhaps he's injured? And you see hey, it's coming into view. As Ogi's taking him in on a cart into Hiryu Palace. It's like, we reached Kuto. It's like, you're back, Ogi? How are the Water Tribe lands? It's like, no news of interest. May I pass? And as they're being wheeled in, Yona's like, Kuto. Feels like an eternity since I've been here. She's a clack, 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 and she sees some kids running around nearby, and she flashes back to her childhood. And you see a bar where informants gathered. It's like, I sent a letter to Juan. It's like, a letter? How did you send a letter to someone concealing his identity? It's like, if something urgent comes up, I leave letters at a particular shop here in town. Juan's representative, probably one of his subordinates, comes to collect them. I read the letters in code, so only Juan can read them. If we're lucky, he'll show up in a few days. It's like, under the circumstances, I had to explain the situation a little. Sorry, but I told him you're here. And Voldo's like, and what if he brings troops with him thanks to that information? It's like, if Juan comes here and you take vengeance on him, it'll make me a criminal. Don't worry, I'll have friends keeping watch over the area. If things go south, you can escape quickly. And Huck's like, it'll be fine. Suwon already knows that Her Highness and I are alive. General Judo and General Gunte know too. If they believe I murdered King Il, they'd have to bring me in. But they won't do that. Because they know what really happened to King Il. As long as we don't provoke him, he won't lay a finger on us. Jeff, to me, they're all guilty of the same crime. But for now, my friends' lives are on the line. I won't act on my feelings. And you say, Yona kitty, hot kitty. If anyone comes looking for a fight, we can just punch them. I'll keep watch outside. And Voldo's like, hold on, Alec, idiot. And Huck's like, are you all right, princess? He's like, yeah. We fought so hard to get here, and now I'm back in Kuto. I'm so close to the palace. In all the time since we left, I never imagined returning like this. And Ogie's like, I'll never forget how, when you were little, we ran all over town searching for you, Your Highness. He's like, thank you, but I don't really remember much about being kidnapped. It's like, I'm sure you don't. I was drunk. Juan splashed me with alcohol. The tiny thunder beast glowered at me. They asked me to help find a cute red-haired girl with big round eyes. Juan had gathered up his friends. Looking back now, it was all great fun. It's hard to believe you three were so close. How did things end up like this? And Yona's thinking, Huck and I have been wondering the same thing for so long, but we have no answer. However, right now we can forget all of that. And you see Yona look out's going, hey, you have the 4 dragon warriors and Yuna waiting for us. So Juan has arrived. The struggle Shing is going through and Princess Tao's hopes for her nation. I must convey those things to Suwon, King of Koka. And you see Suwon coming in. You have a wah. It's like, or rather, Your Majesty, I'm sorry it's come to this. It's been a long time, Princess Yona, General Huck. Of course. It's like King Suwon is unable to be here. Yona's your Min Su? So you have chapter 136, a message. And you have, please stay safe, Your Highness. It's like after saying that, he acted as a decoy to allow Huck and me to escape. On that nightmarish night, it's like, you're Min Su, aren't you? It's like, yes, it's me. Again, he looks very dead-eyed. And Yona's tearing. It's like, Min Su, it's like, thank goodness you're safe. I never thought I'd see you again. It's like, I have to thank you for saving us. He's like, no, Princess Yona. I'm in King Suwon's service now. Please don't thank me. And you can see both of them were taken aback by this, like, the abruptness of his attitude. He's like, Min Su, what? And he just walks straight past her and he goes, are you Ogi? Yeah. He's like, I have a letter from His Majesty. He's like, thanks. It's in code, so I'll read it for you. And he's silent as Huck asks, what does it say? It's like, the letter I sent outlined your goal of compromise with Shing. This is Juan's reply. I cannot satisfy those demands. And Yona's like, I won't be able to meet with Suwon directly? So even if you do see him, His Majesty isn't someone who's easily swayed. He knows all about Princess Corrin's hatred of us. Even if we officially reach an accord, Princess Corrin's hatred won't dissipate. It will spark a rebellion. His Majesty believes talking with you won't accomplish anything. Shang wishes to settle this in battle. His Majesty has already begun to make his move. And Huck's like, I'll just bet Suwon would prefer battle, wouldn't he? If he defeats Shing, Koka will have the power to compete with the Kai Empire. He said, Min Su, what do you think about this? Didn't you respect King Il for his ideology of peace? What's happened since then? He's like, you know the truth about his death. Are you being pressured to keep quiet? He's like, no, I'm not. He's like, before I became King Il's attendant, I served in Lord Suwon's household. Huck's like, what? My mother was physician to Lord Suwon's mother, Lady Yuan He. When I was little, I would accompany my mother to their household. When I was 14, I passed a test to serve as King Il's attendant at the palace. And Huck's like, so you knew Suwon before everything happened? Like, that's right. Waldo's like, then, were you a spy for Suwon? And you can see Huck and Yona kind of being taken aback by this, as they never thought about this as a possibility. And he's like, it's understandable that you think that. While I was serving as King Il's attendant, I regularly informed Lord K-Shuk about happenings in the palace. It's like, Lord K-Shuk used to look after me when I served Lord Suwon's household. Whenever he stopped by the house town, I'd chat with him. It's like, but I never dreamed that my obliviousness would lead to the things that followed. And Yona's like, Min Su, it's like, Your Highness, I came here today to tell you that I was one of the people who killed King Il. I have no intention of begging forgiveness. If it would give you even a measure of comfort, please enact vengeance on me. She's like, Min Su, so you already atoned for your sins on that same night. I am alive today because you saved me. If you're telling the truth about your feelings about my father, I think you've done enough. Besides, I don't want hatred to be what drives me through life. I want to end this war and break this cycle of hatred. And you see he's getting all emotional about that. And she's like, what's more, I have friends who are being held prisoner in Shing. And he's like, huh? It's like, I also want to avert the war to save them. It's a personal reason, but they're my family. It's like, family. It's like, Your Highness, General Huck, King Suwon plans to attack Shing with the Sky and Wind Tribe's armies. It's like, the Wind Tribe. It's like, I'll be going now. And Yona's like, Min-Su, despite the circumstances, thank you for coming to see me. Once he closes the head outside, he just bows to the door as he's tears streaming down his face. It's like, I can't raise my head. Despite everything that's happened, she's like a ray of light. My feelings of guilt and despair were crushed. I've had as much time as Her Highness has. What have I been doing with it? So King Il, I wish I could talk to you about her. And he's later with Suwon going, well done, how did it go? It's like she reiterated her hopes of resolving things peacefully. She also said that Shing is holding her friends prisoner. Suwon's like, I see. It's like, is there really no path but war? And Suwon's like, if I don't choose what's best for this nation, it would defeat the purpose of sitting on the throne. And Min-Su's like, even if it brings her more suffering. And Suwon's like, if a king is ruled by his personal feelings, his nation will fall into ruin. Yeah, Lord Keishuk said my life was spared because my mother was Yon He's personal physician. Even if I were to join Her Highness, it wouldn't matter to him. I despise him even now. But I suspect that a king might not make any progress if he embraces kindness. You see back with Algira, he goes, hey Vault Dummy, what's going on in there? So there's too much information, I can't keep up. So just go snuggle some kitties. So there aren't any kitties. What's going to happen to Sinha Kitty and the others? It's got this rate, we'll be going to war, and Master Sinha and the others are going to be executed. And you see Yona and Huck kind of looking despondent. And she's like, Ogi? It's like, huh? It's like, what? It's like, you have friends all over Koka. You can gather information faster than anyone, right? It's like, pretty much. It's like, could you do something for me? It's like, what? It's like, I want you to work, or as Huck goes, I want you to work with the Wind Tribe. So it's Huck speaking, or not, Huck speaking, or not Yona, excuse me. Yona's looking surprised at him. He's like, Huck, we need to stop this before the Wind Tribe army makes its move. It's like, but if the Wind Tribe defies the king's orders, they'll listen to my instructions. It's like, wasn't this the last thing you wanted to do? It's like, do you remember what the old man said before I left the tribe? It's like, someday you may confront despair once again. If you ever need help, the Wind Tribe will be at your side, no matter who stands against us. It's like, Mundok. No, he's like, wait, hold on a second. Am I hearing you right? Are you telling me to be part of a plan to defy the king? It's like, you'd just be delivering a message. It's like, listen, Juan is very dear to me. I'm sorry for you guys, but I think that him being king is good for our nation. That said, I can't forgive him for betraying his friends. The fact that he betrayed you two doesn't sit well with me. It's like, makes you wonder if he'd kill me if I got in his way. It's like, want to put Juan's love to the test? It's like, it's definitely one-sided. And he's just like slumped over on the table. It's like, do I have to gamble my life? And he's like, how about money? It's like, huh? It's like, my intel comes at a price. Belonging to the royal family doesn't mean you're exempt. Huck's like, that's a problem. I have no money. It's like, come back some other time. Voldon's like, oh, hold on, please, wait, I'll use my pocket money. And just like reaching into his cloak for some. It's like, you should be aware that your pocket change won't cover this task, Voldo. And you see Yona pulling out the expensive hair brooch that Suwon gave her. And she's like, will this cover it? And Huck's looking shocked. And he's like, whoa, what is this? It's beautiful. And Huck's like, you're high? And he looks at her in surprise. He's like, is there a problem? It's like, hardly, look at it. It's like, will I be able to sell this at a local pawn shop? It's like, then we're counting on you. And Ogi's like, looks like I've accepted a tremendous job. You have chapter 137, To My Allies. You have Hyongdae, Saki. You have Wind Tribe lands near the Shing border. It's like, how are things looking in Shing? Lots of soldiers are near the border. They're watching our movements. And you have people of the Wind Tribe have exceptional eyesight. It's only a matter of time before the fighting begins. Will you be following King Suwon's orders, General Teiyu? In a war against Shing, it makes sense to send the Wind Tribe. And you see a little map explaining boss. Whatever. Stay ready. We'll be in battle once the Sky Tribe troops arrive. Battle, huh? Can't say I'm thrilled about it. Weren't you the battle against the forts in Sei? Sure, because I heard the Water Tribe chief's poor little girl had been abducted and was being treated horribly. She turned out to be feistier than I expected. A battle I have no stake in just feels so pointless. You could say that it's to guarantee peace. Peace achieved by hurting people leaves a bad taste in my mouth. You see, back in Hiryu Palace, you hear, that's right, we'll soon have enough supplies and weapons for 20,000 Sky Tribe soldiers. We'll depart for Shing in 3 days. And Minsu's eavesdropping. He's 3 days? And he thinks back to Yona telling him, I want to avert the war to save my family. He's Princess! And he takes off running. And yeah, I got your message to the Wind Tribe. If all goes well, it should reach the tribe in half a day. You worked fast, just as I expected. You think saying avoid battle will do it? It'll buy us some time. But Shing might get unruly. Let's get back to the border quickly. And Huck looking at his door is Princess? And you hear a creak as Mingsu comes rushing in. He's Your Highness! Minsu! What is it? The king of the Sky Tribe army will be heading for Shing in 3 days with 20,000 troops. This feels like a trap. I figured that war would break out by that time, so I came here. That's sooner than I thought. What should we do? Huck, head for... And Yona goes, Huck, head for the Wind Tribe without me. Huh? I'll delay Suwon Sky Tribe soldiers. That's crazy. How are you going to do that? I don't know if I can pull it off, but I have an idea. I want to ask a certain someone to help me out. And Huck's there's no way. I'm not going with you. There's no way I'm not going with you. And Ogi's what's going on? I can deliver a message for you. I want to make sure you get your money's worth for me. And Yona's I want to go personally. I'll lend you a carriage then. The person I want to see is higher ranking, so it might be difficult to meet with him. Then, and Minsu's in that case, I shall accompany you, Your Highness. I can approach nobility as an envoy of Hiryu Palace. But Minsu, if you do that, it can endanger you and your mother Suwon's mansion. It is what it is. Besides, I can't bear the thought of standing idly by again while your family's lives are at risk. And Huck's wait, please, I can't let you go alone. I don't think I'll be in any danger. I'll come right back. I can't let you do that. Algira's I'll escort Yona, Kitty, then. I promised Princess Tower to protect her after all. And Yona's go on. I imagine the Wind Tribe is waiting for you. There might not be much I can do, but I want to try so that I don't regret it later. Right now we have to buy time and wait for an opportunity. I'm sure we can find some kind of compromise for Koka and Shing. And then we can hurry back to see the Dragon Warriors Yun and Ao. So, for just a little while. She puts her hands, just a little fist bump. He's I understand. I'll be waiting. And she goes, Huck, and then she pulls him in and plants a kiss on him. And you can see everyone around them was just shocked. Huck most of all. And she's I'm off now. Algira, Minsu, let's go. Okay. He's yes. And you hear a loud slam. Huck's still shell shocked. He's what just happened? And Voldo's, she already left. He's hey, wait. It's I told you she's gone. And he's no. Something's wrong. But Q? It's is this the afterlife? And he's just spinning around. And Voldo's you're still alive. And Ogi's how bittersweet. Things are getting a little bit interesting. He's shut up, old man, who thinks wearing a hairpin is an okay thing to do. And you see that Ogi just stuck the hairpin in his own hair. It's you just made me forget everything I need to know, you idiot. She never fails to, she never fails to surprise me, but that was so blasé. Give me a break. And you see in the carriage taking him away that Yona kind of curled up with her knees. What's wrong, Yona, kitty? Feeling motion sick? She's no. It's Yona, what are you doing? Huck said he'd be waiting and he looked so worried. It was so difficult to tear myself away from him, but still. The things you should and shouldn't do, Yona. It's so what now? I'll bet Huck was appalled. It's I need to forget about it. I need to keep it together. And you see, hey, is this real, young chief? And Taeyu's like, yep, that's Lord Huck's handwriting. I can't believe Lord Huck would send a letter like this. It's like he wants us to avoid battle with Shing. Personally, I'd rather avoid it if we can. But Shing sees Koka as an enemy, right? And His Majesty ordered us to be here at the ready. We've brought troops with us. Once we meet up with the Sky Tribe, the battle will begin. Will the Wind Tribe defy him, General Teiyu? And Teiyu goes, you all belong to the Wind Tribe in the city of Fuga, don't you? And for the kids of Fuga, as far back as we can remember, there's one truth we have all have etched into our souls. No matter how amazing the heavens are, no matter how superior a king might be, there's only one person who stands above us. What Lord Huck says goes without question. I love that. You see, huh? It's like, young chief, Sing is that way. Are we going to battle already? Like, that looks tasty. Let me have one. He goes, you see Teiyu going up to the soldiers. It's like, there won't be any fighting. We're having a party. He's like, have fun. He's like, what? All right. It's like, hey, the young chief said we could have fun. So we were told not to fight. Should we be going near Shing? So did you see Lord Huck's second letter? It's like, huh? Second one? What? And you see him approaching the Shing encampment. And you see, stop right there, filthy Koka scum. Another step puts you in Shing territory. So he told us to get along with the people of Shing. It's like, they're aiming arrows at us, though. It's like, this is way more up my alley. Jeff, leave this to Hyungdae. It's like, hey, we're throwing a party. Since the war still hasn't started, we thought we'd share some food and drink with you. And you see one of them just lets loose an arrow, just like casually, just almost grazes Hyungdae. And he's like, things are finally getting interesting. It's like, wouldn't it be better to withdraw? You're the most confrontational guy in the whole tribe. And you see back with Yona, it's like, Your Highness, we've arrived at Saika Palace. And you have Taejun. He's like, yes. And you see Taejun's looking all scruffy, like with dirt all over his face. It's like, what is it, brother? It's like, don't give me that. Look at your clothes. Playing in the mud at your age? It's like, well, a nearby town was harvesting Isa grain. The Isa grain crops are booming. We've learned how to purify water and use manure more effectively. It's like, what good will it do you to learn farming? It's like, honestly, you're supposed to be my assistant. Why are you such an idiot? I have to keep setting you straight. Do you know what I have to go through to serve King Suwon? I'm learning all sorts of things to rebuild a fire tribe. I have devoted all my energy. You have neg. And you have a brother. You have Lord Taejun. It's like, you have a visitor. It's like, what? I need to hurry. I'll talk to you later, big brother. He just runs off. It's like, come back here, Taejun. Like, I feel like my brother's starting to nag me more. Is it a sign that he's getting old? It's like, Lord Kyoga seems most lively when he's scolding you. It's like, yay for good health. It's like, that aside, it's rather unusual of you to lie to get me out of trouble. It's like, you do have a visitor. An envoy from Hiryu Palace, evidently. And Taejun's like, huh? Wait, Hiryu Palace? For me? Why? It's like, who knows? Perhaps you're being sent somewhere extremely cold. It's like, don't scare me like that. It's like, what? Did I do something to offend His Majesty? It's like, well, he was clearly a civil servant from Hiryu Palace, but he's being oddly secretive. It's like, secretive? It's like he's waiting at a villa. It's like, sorry to keep you waiting. I'm Kang Taejun. You see Elgira just like arms crossed standing there. And he's like, who are these scary people? That man looks like a warrior. Is he here to beat me up? Is that it? And Minsu's like, we'd like some privacy. He's like, certainly. And he's like, at least hesitate before leaving, Hook-chi. He's like, this is scary. I hate this. I've been traumatized by mean-looking warriors. He looks like he cut me down with a big blade. It's like, I thought I was becoming a better person lately. Well, sometimes I'm a little underhanded, but I'm only human. And here, Taejun. And he's like, huh? As Yona takes off her hood, it's like, it's been a while, hasn't it? And I've never thought very highly of King Taejun. He frequently troubled Her Highness until Lord Huck became a general. It's like, Princess Yona. It's like, Lord Taejun, Her Highness is weary today. She's not seeing anyone. Jeff, step aside, attendant. And Minsu's like, that was the impression I had of him. However, you have chapter 138, confusion. It's like, the man before me doesn't match that impression at all. And you see him just blushing and teary-eyed. Like, Your Highness, is this really Lord King Taejun? Yona's like, yep, no doubt about it. It's like, I know this unexpected visit may have caught you by surprise. It's like, not at all. It's like, I'm here because I have a request. And he's like, I must get tea and snacks. And Yona's like, no, it's fine. Don't trouble yourself. You have a huh? The Sky Tribe army is heading to Shing tomorrow? It's like, I figured they'd be making a move, but that's sooner than I expected. It's like Shing is torn in two directions. Princess Corrin wishes to settle things with the war, even if it means suffering serious casualties, but Princess Tao desperately hopes to avoid that. And Taejun's like, and you wish to prevent this war from escalating? And Yona just like nods yes. It's like, right now, there are 20,000 troops gathered at Hiryu Palace. Princess Corrin said she'd see what Suwon does before she declares war. If the Sky Tribe army moves, that grace period is over. That's why I've come to ask you to help me. Stop the Sky Tribe army. It's like, what do you want me to do? Or what do you need me to do? Well, Algira looking at us like, a kitty! He's like, here, kitty, kitty. Do you have your highness? Like, that's a lot to ask of Lord Taejun. And he's like, I know what I'm asking is unreasonable. If you do this, it will ruin your reputation. You could even be branded a criminal. It's like, I can't even... And then Minsu's like, I can't imagine you'd ever take such a risk. And she's like, you're under no obligation. It's like, if we're not cautious, you might tell people about her highness. It's like, I don't expect you to agree, but please think it over. And without a hesitation, he's just like, I'll do it! It's like, huh? It's like, you can count on me. And Minsu's starting to get worried. He's like, shouldn't you give it some more thought? He's like, it's no problem! It's like, Taejun? It's like, your highness, do you remember the Iza grain? It's like, yes? It's like, that grain we received from you is being carefully grown by our villagers. The first fields are ripening. We had our first harvest today. The yield isn't great yet, but to the Fire Tribe, that grain symbolizes real hope. My subordinates are doing all they can to help in the fields. Many people gather at the clinic we established back then. The town has grown quite large. The townspeople wonder whatever became of the people who saved them. They think fondly of a certain red-haired girl in the Dark Dragon and Happy Hungry Brunch. You know, it's just like the Dark Dragon and the Happy, she laughs. That brings back memories. It's like, really? It's like, yes, I've heard so many people say they'd love to see you again to thank you. It's like, my people and I owe so much to you. I've wanted to help you one day. I've dreamed of returning the favor. And now that dream will come true. I, King Taejun, acting chief of the Fire Tribe, will carry out this task to the best of my ability. You see a boom as Algira just pushes a kitten next to his face. And he's like, what? Who are you? It's like, Taejun, kitty. It's like, who are you calling Taejun, kitty? It's like, I add kitty to the names of people I like. It's a sign of affection. It's like, please don't. It's like, thank you. It's like, you're doing this as a favor to help Shing. You're doing it for us. Someday I'll repay Taejun, kitty. Yona, kitty, and the others. Java, Taejun, if you're punished for this, we'll come and save you. Thank you for listening to my unreasonable request. He just goes and gives him a hug. And he goes, you don't need to worry. Take care of yourself, Princess Yona. And you have Lord Taejun, has the envoy from Hiryu... Hook-Chi comes back. He's like, has the envoy from Hiryu Palace left? He's like, yes. He's like, Hook-Chi, I want you to follow the orders I'm about to give you without question. You see back at Hiryu Palace, Suwon's bird, Golfon's coming back in for a landing. It's like, it's almost time to set out for Shing. Once I deal with them, this nation will be strong enough to repel an invasion by the Kai Empire. It's like, even if it brings her, and he thinks back to Minsu asking, even if it brings her more suffering. And he goes, if I were willing to stop for her sake at this point, I would never have tried to eliminate her to begin with. After all I've done, I have no illusions of living a peaceful life and dying comfortably in my bed. It's like, Your Majesty, I have news. It's like, what is it? The Fire Tribe has sent up a flare. It's like, you're sure? It's like, yes, there's no mistake. A flare from the Fire Tribe means that North Kai or Sen Province is invaded. It's like, do you suppose Rihazar of Sen Province has broken his word and invaded Fire Tribe lands? So Rihazar has made his move. I was expecting it, but not quite so soon. But if he was waiting to attack when our defense was stretched thin from fighting Shing, that makes sense. And you hear one of the soldiers rushing and going, we're ready to depart for Shing. And the advisor bro's like, what will you do, Your Majesty? And you see, it seems the Fire Tribe sent up a flare. See, one of Ogi's associates, an informant who joined them in a town along the way. It's like, I wonder if word reached Hiryu Palace. It's like, probably. They should be in a huge panic. The Sky Tribe won't be able to move for a while. And it's like, this girl, it's like, what sorts of things has she accomplished since leaving the palace? I was surprised by Lord Taejun. It's like, they changed. Her Highness did this to Lord Taejun and to the darkness in my heart. Coca itself is being affected. Something huge is about to happen. She's simply doing her best to protect her friends and the people she sees in front of her, and those around her reach out to help her in turn. Perhaps even His Majesty hasn't recognized it. What a terrifying ability. You see back with Yuna and the others has, I've bought lots of meat again. There are medicinal herbs as well. Yuna's like, thank you. So what do you think? Are you feeling better? Am I being helpful? And he's like, yeah. So why are you doing all this? We appreciate the food, but... And Mizori's just staring at them and he goes, green and white, would you like to join the 5 stars? Like, what? What are you saying? It's like the 5 stars are down to 3. You two have interesting abilities. I think the 5 stars would be far more fun with you two than with some boring, ordinary people. If you join us, you'll avoid execution or torture. It's like, are you serious? It's like, of course. I'll bet Princess Corrin would be delighted. And you hear Mizori. She walks up behind him and goes, don't make baseless claims. You have Princess. It's like, Princess Corrin? It's like, Dragon Warriors of Coca. It seems you've yet to fully recover. Jaeha's like, why, it's the lovely Princess Corrin. 5 stars are remarkable. I'm still not back in full fighting form. So my sister went so far as to offer her life in exchange if I'd spare you. Jaeha's like, Tao said that? So the White One saved one of her attendants evidently. Giju's like, huh? Did I? It's like, as Mizori said, if you serve me, I might release you. And Giju's like, I've chosen to live and die for my master. And Corrin goes, that girl won't be coming back. She's been gone for a week and we've heard nothing. Either she's run away or Suwon has killed her. Peace with Coco was never a real possibility. And Zeno's like, it's true that peace with Coco won't come easily. But our young lady is no ordinary person. She's a child of the Crimson Dragon and loved by 4 dragons. And she's like, the Crimson Dragon. So don't underestimate the love of the dragon gods for the Crimson Dragon. If they wish it, they can even get the heavens to assist them. And you see the next page with the plip as it's raining on the Wind Tribe and the people of Xing. It's like, hey, people of Xing, it's raining. Do you have enough food? It's like, shut up, you cocoa brats. What are you plotting? And Hyungdae's like, we're not plotting anything. Yeah, we might be enemies tomorrow, but we don't have any personal grudge against you. We're just killing some time before the battle starts. So put down your weapons. It'll be bad to start fighting without a signal from your general. And you hear, hey, bought some raincoats. Does anyone from Xing need one? Jeff, stay back, woman. Jeff, Ayame! And someone steps out with a clack. Yeah, why are you making them so nervous? Getting along with people is a Wind Tribe specialty. I don't remember raising you all that poorly. As Huck makes his grand entrance. And the people from Xing are like, he blocked an arrow. He's so fast. Who is he? Is it just a dark dragon passing by? It's like, but first, some personal space, please. And you see everyone just hugging a group hug. So you have chapter 139, Down in the Mud. He's like, he's real. It's like, you're alive. Do we get rid of Lord Huck's grave? It's like, uh-huh. And Taeyu's like, that's so unbecoming. Lord Huck doesn't like it when you do that. It's like, you were crying during the battle at the forts. It's like, Hyungdae, you jerk. It's like, huh? Taeyu was crying. It's like, you were crying, baby. And Huck's like, where's the old man? It's like, the elder chief is defending Fuga. What about you? Where's your highness? It's like, we're acting independently right now. It's like, are things all right? It's like, oh, did you have a fight? It's like, no, they didn't fight. In fact, they were rather... Wall is about to tell him about the kiss. Like, they don't need to know about that. It's like, but you're lovers. Why be bashful? And Huck's like, we're not lovers. Vola's like, what? You're not? Then what was that? It's like, that's what I want to know. It's like, anyway, keep quiet. I'll never hear the end of it. He's like, what? Did someone mention a lover? It's like, no, wait. Did Lord Huck make a move on her highness? It's, the elder chief will kill you. And Vola's like, actually, she made a move on him. I think. Jeff, hey, Huck. It's like, shut up. It's not like that. And as he sees like the painful banter fighting, you see all the people, shoulders of Xing are just confused. He's like, what's with them? They're hitting each other. Like, you're not taking this seriously enough, you idiot. It's like, why did they come here? You have, oh, Sir Voldo of the 5 stars? It's like, It's like, oh, Captain Dai of Squad 2. All these soldiers have come from Q Palace? It's like, huh? Sir Voldo? It's like, you're right, it's him from the 5 stars. And Huck's like, you're pretty famous. It's like, sort of, yes. As the strongest swordsman of the 5 stars, I have many students, and you see self-proclaimed. It's like, Sir Voldo, why are you with these people from Coca? I heard rumors that you'd be sided with Princess Tao of the anti-war faction. And yeah, Princess Tao has been colluding with Coca? It's like, no, that's not true. Princess Tao and some trustworthy people from Coca have been trying to find a path to peace. Jeff, no, Sir Voldo. Princess Tao doesn't understand anything. Who knows what kind of underhanded tricks Coca will use to wipe us out? And Jeff, indeed. Suwon, Coca's king, can't be trusted. Voldo's like, Master Hawk. Like, that king is very shrewd and he will use underhanded tricks if he thinks they're necessary. But he doesn't believe in some partisan god or indiscrimination. And he's not stupid enough to launch a war to oppress you for no reason. Taeyu's like, ultimately, that makes it sound like you do trust him, Lord Huck. You have King Suwon has gathered 20,000 troops at Hiryu Palace. And they're like, Mummer's like, that many? It's like a Coca princess is doing all she can to prevent them from being deployed. It's like a Coca princess. So that princess is friends with Princess Tao. She made Princess Corrin promise to hold off on declaring war until it's clear how her negotiations with King Suwon go. If you doubt my word, ask Princess Corrin. As you can see, the Wind Tribe is full of country Hux goes. As you can see, the Wind Tribe is full of country bumpkins and idiots. It's like, what? That's so mean. It's like, there's nothing to do until a battle starts, and being nervous is exhausting. It's like, plus, it's raining. You see back at Hiryu Palace, like, Your Majesty. So did you call off the deployment to Shing? Yeah, the Fire Tribe sent up a flare. We might need to send reinforcements there. So can't the Sky Tribe army head to Shing in the meantime? And Judo's like, I can't see Sen Province invading at a time like this. And Advisor Bro's like, we're doing all we can to confirm things quickly. Suwon's like, something's bothering me. It's like, what? It's like, it's nothing. It's like, then will we deal with Shing later on? And Suwon's like, we can't afford to do that. And you see back at Kuto's like, Your Highness, I'll be heading back to the palace. It's like, thank you, Minsu. Take care. It's like, you too. And as Yona's being driven away, it's like, shall I drop you off near the Shing town of Sansan next? Yona's like, yes. It's like, it doesn't look like the king is attacking. Will you be returning to Hawk Kitty? And Yona's like, the war has been slightly delayed. All I have to figure out is how to reason with Princess Corrin and Suwon. But what is this feeling? Is this really all right? Will things really turn out well if I stop the Sky Tribe army? Suwon is rushing to dispatch his troops in 3 days. Think! If I were Suwon, what would I do? And it's like, Yona Kitty? It's like, the Water Tribe army will arrive. And you see a soldier campsite in Sansan, a town near the Shing border. You see the Sky Tribe folks all just mingling around Huck. It's like, it's so great that the rain stopped. It's like, hey, you there, could you bring more food? And they're like, why are you partying by the border? It's like, sorry, her camp is one big mud puddle from the rain. This was the best place. Take this as an apology for the racket as they offer some roast meat. It's like, it's not poison. We've been eating it too. Jeff, that looks fun. From the Shing people. It's like, stay put. It's like, hey, come on over. It's like, Lord Huck, you're coming back to Fuga, right? It's like, Lord Huck. And you see, he's just being swarmed. It's like, I want to see Taeyon's face when he sees you. Huck's like, it's been 4 days. The Sky Tribe army hasn't arrived. That means that Her Highness was successful. But in that case, she should have come straight here. And Yotaka's like, what's all that noise? A festival? It's like, why, it's Sir Yotaka and Sir Mizari. And Yotaka's like, that's someone from Coca. And he's like, Here, stand back, as he comes rushing in with his maces. And Voldo blocks it. Yeah, whoa! Who's interrupting the party? And Yotaka's like, I'd wondered if Coca had attacked on the eve of war. But it was you, Voldo. You always like to rush into things head first, don't you, Yotaka? Standing with Coca, pointing your sword at me? You're planning to turn against Princess Corrin, aren't you? It's like, Yotaka. It's like, listen to me. He just flings, disarms him and sends the maces flying. So you have to realize that if we fight Coca head on, our country will be reduced to ashes. Princess Corrin intends to fight even if she is destroyed along with our people. And the soldier's like, Princess Corrin will be destroyed with us? Yotaka's like, stop. So the princess is generally sensible, but her rigidity is worrying. She's still utterly fixated on her hatred of Coca and Yuhan. Think it through. Princess Corrin's methods are only giving Coca a reason to crush Sing. If she drags the people into disaster with her, what will be left? They're like, shut up! If Sir Yotaka, is what he's saying true? Is Princess Corrin leading us to ruin? So we won't lose, will we? You and the other 5 stars are strong as 1,000 men. Voldo's like, we're hardly that strong. Even Algira, the strongest amongst us, Can't defeat Master Huck over there. It's like, our Lord Huck is amazing. It's like, bet you do pretty well, though. It's like, even Sir Algira? It's like, what's more, Coca also has his 4 dragons with their monstrous powers. It's like the monsters who caused trouble in town the other day. It's like, them? They were nothing special. It's like, yeah, they were helpless against Sir Yotica. Everyone was making such a fuss, but there was just some pale guy. And you see, they were trying to protect us. They knew if they fought back, you could start the war. And you hear a scream, and Yotica's like, what was that? And you see that Mizari's cut down the 2 soldiers that were trash-talking them. He's like, huh? It's like, you're not so tough. It's like, It's like, it's foolish to even compare yourself to the 4 dragon warriors. Yotica's like, Mizari, what are you doing? He's like, me? I couldn't help it. This guy was acting so tough. I wanted to see if it was justified. And he punches him like, you idiot! You! Why do you never know what you should or shouldn't do? If you do this, and you hear, make way! It's like, you're from Coca. Who allowed you into our territory? Like, these people are dying. Aren't they your comrades? Who cares about territory right now? It's like, Hyungdae, I need my medical equipment. So he's already gone for it. It's like, Saki, hold him down. It's like, hey, hang in there. You'll be all right. And you see they're stripping the soldiers of their armor as the other soldiers are murmuring. It's like, how are those 2 doing? It's like, they pulled through somehow thanks to those people from Coca. They've been caring for them all night. It's like, I never thought Sir Mizari would attack someone who'd done no wrong. It was a cruel thing that he did. The same goes for Sir Yotica. He ignored the injured and didn't even offer an apology. Is that the real nature of the 5 stars, the prides of Shing? I see why Sir Volo and Sir Algira would want to leave. And Princess Corrin is naming dangerous people like them to the 5 stars? Is she truly worthy to be Queen of Shing? Yeah, Mizori! So you attacked our own soldiers on the eve of war? How could you do this? You're one of the 5 stars. Your wretched behavior has brought disgrace to Princess Corrin. I've overlooked your actions before now, but this time you will be punished severely. Prepare yourself. And Corrin's like, Mizari, why did you do that? Did you feel sympathy for the dragon warriors after caring for them? He's like, Princess Corrin, what did I do wrong? It's like, you? It's like, that soldier was really weak. If he were on the battlefield, he'd die instantly anyway. What difference does it make if he dies now? No matter how many we send, they'll be cut down. They won't even manage to scratch someone from Coca, or shield you from harm before dying. That's what this war will be like, won't it? Whether some weakling is dead or alive makes no difference. If I had massive claws or powerful legs or eternal life, I'd be much better at protecting you. If the 4 dragon warriors refuse to become your allies, I might be able to gain their powers by eating their flesh and drinking their blood. Princess Corrin, you took me in. I'll always strive to be of use to you. Everyone will die in this war, but I'll do all I can to make sure you come out smiling. His guy is just completely psychotic, huh? You have chapter 140, an encounter. You have Lady Riri, why are you sulking? It's like, His Majesty won't let me into the library. It's like, I'm bored. He won't even allow me to go to the palace town. It's like, I wanted to visit Ogi's place. And Tetra's like, it's odd. He was supposed to mobilize 20,000 troops in preparation for the war with Shing, but it seems he doesn't plan to do that just yet. So there are rumors that Sen province is invaded. Perhaps something's happening that he doesn't want you to know about. And you're... oh, excuse me, my throat's starting to get really dry. Oh. And you hear Ira coming in and say, Lady Riri, King Suwon is about to finally head to Shing. He'll be leading only 10,000 of the total 20,000 troops. It's only 10,000. It's like about 6,000 soldiers from our tribe's army are being sent as reinforcements. And you see Suwon on his horse going, stand guard over the fire tribe in Sen province. You have, sir? So we've been badly stalled. And you see the flag starting to fly. And you hear, huh? And a shove, shove, shove. As both Sinha and Ao are trying to like feed chestnuts to Jeha. It's like, Sinha, I promise I do not need acorn shoved into my mouth. It's like, oh, he's awake. It's like, no food has come. You should eat these. It's like, they were in Owl's mouth, weren't they? It's like, it's true that guy was bringing meals pretty regularly, but he hasn't come since yesterday. And you see a kathunk as Negoro brings in what looks like a badly beaten up Mizari. And he dumps him in to a separate cell. And he goes, cool your head in there. He's like, huh? What happened? And you see Mizari with tears going, I want the power of the 4 dragons. And Gita's like, we already told you that's not possible. He's like, if I consume Zeno's blood and flesh, will I become immortal? It's like, Zeno's power can't be transferred to anyone else. It's like, you won't know unless you try. It's like, soldiers drenched in my blood and beasts that ate my flesh have all died. Oh, sorry, it's thing Zeno going. Have all died. Long ago, there was someone I would have done anything to keep alive. I even wish that she could live as long as I did. Death still came for her. And now, I think that's just as well. It's like, it's best not to have inhuman powers like mine. It's like, that may be true, but ever since I've been held prisoner here, I keep having the same dream. I dream that my leg's taken from me. I can hear her crying, but I can no longer leap to her side. And you see, back at the Sansan soldier campsite, it's like the town was so hostile, but after what happened yesterday, things changed. The pro-war faction's fervor has cooled. Distrust of the 5 stars and Princess Corrin is on the rise. Younger soldiers who don't know about the war with Yuhan or the war to come are starting to soften up toward the people of the Wind Tribe. Master Huck, if you're worried about Princess Yona, do you want to go look for her? He's like, no. If I move for no reason, we could miss each other. Besides, those guys are still being held prisoner. If it comes down to it, I'll save them no matter who I'll have to go up against. And Volto bows and goes, I'm sorry if Yotaka and Mizari hadn't captured your friends. This wouldn't have happened. So you don't have to apologize. So even though you're opposed to Yotaka and the others, you still see them as comrades. He's like, huh? So that's why you're apologizing for them, right? It's like, if none of this had happened, I feel I could get along with Yotaka and Negoro. It's like, better than I do with Algira, at least. But they, like Princess Corrin, have an abiding hatred of Yuhan. The 5 stars have fallen apart. The same is true of our princess. Or our princesses. So I envy you and the Wind Tribe. Living a peaceful life with everyone is my dream. And you see a tromp as Yona and Algira watching the Water Tribe troops, assume, marching. And she's like, as I expected, Suwon called in the Water Tribe for assistance. So Koka's king sure moves quickly. So if that's the case, Suwon will come someplace near here to meet up with the Water Tribe army. If this army reaches Zing, war will break out. The dragon warriors in Yun will be here. Hey, it's like, huh? You see a clack, 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 clack. As one of the Water Tribe soldiers sees Yona's cart, and he throws a spear at the wheel to stop it. You have a slump and a whoa! As it crashes. Yeah, don't move. You're riding alongside our army. What are you planning? And he's like, nothing, I swear it! And as one of them's going to look inside to see who's there, Algira lashes out with a kick as he's like cradling Yona. And they're like, what? He's like, you dare? It's like, that clothing is unfamiliar. It's like, suspicious! It's like, Yonaki, a moment please. And as the soldiers try to swing down on him, Algira just kicks him and knocks him down, knocks down the other soldiers. It's like, hey, he's strong. It's like, Algira. It's like, what's the fuss? And you see Keishuk riding up. You have, it's Advisor Keishuk. He's like, that face. It can't be. It's like, this man is... It's like, do you know these people, sir? It's like, the fact that he's here means that's Suwon. And he's like, I do not. It's like, he's here too. And, just like, heart's starting to beat faster. It's like, he's nearby. It's like, don't lay a hand on Algira. He's a good friend who was left in my charge by Princess Tao of Xing. It's like, Princess Tao of Xing? It's like, there's no way you'd fail to recognize my face. Yona's like, this is my last opportunity to negotiate. It's like, please. It's like, Advisor Keishuk. I am Yona, daughter of King Il. I wish to speak to your leader Suwon regarding the nation of Xing. Please take me to him. And the soldier's like, huh? Princess Yona? King Il? It's like, Advisor Keishuk, what should we... And he goes, kill her. It's like, huh? But it's like, Princess Yona died with General Huck when she fell off a cliff in the northern mountains. And it's impossible that she wished to discuss Xing in a place like this. These people are Xing spies. So then we should capture them and report this to His Majesty. It's like, no need for that. Kill them. And Algira's like, Yona, kitty, leave this to me and get out of here. And here, stop this nonsense. Refusing to hear out an envoy of Xing on the eve of war? You'd simply kill me without just cause? I like take command, Yona. She goes, is this how you want to use the status you gained by killing my father? Keishuk's like, this girl, is she really Princess Yona? And the soldier's like, Advisor Keishuk, perhaps we should tell the king. He's like, no, wait. And you see Suwon riding up as he goes, what's going on, Advisor Keishuk? As he spots Yona. And you have chapter 140 end. Alright, yeah. So I guess some quick thoughts about this before I start. So yeah, again, like feels like these last couple of volumes are keep hinting at the fact that there's more to Suwon's desire for conquest, or like need for conquest, that isn't totally related to his whole thing of like, oh, I need to defend myself against the Kai Empire. I don't think I'll feel like I need to bone up on the politics of stuff with Yona, because I feel like it's been a long time since I've kind of like thought about like the geopolitics, the interconnected stuff of like which nation is which enemy is which. So I feel like I need to do a little refresh my memory with that a little bit. Yeah, it feels like we're leading up to something, because it feels like, because part of me thinks like the reason that he's so determined not to like open up negotiations, I don't think is because he's opposed to negotiations. This feels like something more personal than that, and I don't know if it's related because we still don't know like what happened with his father and between him, his father, and his King Il. 'Cause I think like way back at the beginning, like his what was it? We were told that his father had his father killed so he could become king. So it feels like that's partly playing into that, where he's like, oh, the need for revenge or the desire for revenge is too. Oh, it feels like he thinks that Princess Corin's desire for revenge would basically like supersede anything else, like her desire for peace, and he feels like kind of he's not open to the possibility that she'd be willing to negotiate or ally with Coca. And like he points out, he needs their nation, needs their army's strength to be able to fend off the Kai Empire. So it feels like, at this point, he's being a little bit too closed-minded about the needs of his kingdom without considering, other possibilities or ways to like build alliances instead. So it'll be interesting to see how his approach kind of clashing with Yona's desire to kind of like find a way to broker an alliance instead. But yeah, again, I really, really want to get to Suwon's past. It feels like we keep getting like hints and like nods towards it without kind of like fully addressing it. So I hope we get to it sooner rather than later. But yeah, I think apart from that, I do love, again, the slow development of the romance between Yona, and I appreciate the fact that she's the one taking the incentive instead of Huck. Like, she's the one that's kind of like taking the reins of it by giving him the kiss and like kind of knocking him off his perch. So I really loved that moment. It was nice to see Taejun again. I did not remember who Minsu was, because it's been so long since I've read Volume 1. I don't feel like we've seen him that often. So it took me a while to kind of process that. Apart from that, I did appreciate the way that the discord was starting to be sown between Princess Quard and the army. Because again, it feels like, because we're seeing that she's basically recruiting like, the common folk farmers like that, not really trained soldiers to be in her army. So when they see one of her, advisors, generals, like lashing out, who's unstable like that, it feels like, of course, it's vastly easier that way to kind of build up mistrust between her and the ordinary troops and everything. So I did appreciate the way that was set up. I will say, like, I don't know if the series has had a lot of like horror elements and aspects to it. Sometimes it feels like what was it? Kusanagi-san, like, feels like she's hesitant to kind of fully dip into her, dive into it, and make some character. It feels like she's too afraid sometimes to make some characters like irredeemable, because with Mizari specifically, it feels like the way that it's being set up is like, oh, it's going to be like, oh, either he witnessed something at like an early age that kind of was what made him like develop these psychopathic tendencies, whatnot. Like he witnessed something, maybe uh, one of his parents or something was killed by Yuhan all those years ago. But it kind of, it feels like it waffles back and forth too much between that, like whether he really is a psychopath or whether he has like some kind of trauma that's causing these psychopathic tendencies, or whether it's Corin's desire for revenge has kind of warped him and like his fanatical devotion to her. I'm willing to wait to see like how all that develops before I kind of like pass judgment and everything on it. But yeah, like it just tonally, it just didn't felt off when he was doing like the thing where they're like, oh, what's wrong with you? And he's cutting down the soldiers, like his friendship with the Dragon Warriors, like all of it just felt off. So we'll see if that changes the next couple of volumes. But yeah, I just wanted to mention that, point that out. Yeah, I think I've talked for long enough now. I think this video ran a little bit longer than expected. But again, I am vastly enjoying this conflict in this arc more so than the couple of ones we've gotten previous to this with the Water Tribe. So I'm hoping it kind of plows ahead with this. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So like I mentioned, tomorrow I'll look for Akane Banashi Spy Family and some more Yona to drop. I'm going to try to get at least one volume out tomorrow. I will try to get out 2 if I can, depending on how I feel. Hopefully if I haven't damaged my throat too badly. Yeah, look forward to that. Like I mentioned at the beginning, if you like my content, please do consider like, commenting, subscribing. Pushing all those buttons really helps promote these videos on YouTube's algorithm, especially this year since I'm trying to be more consistent with posting content and trying to grow my channel. Any help would be greatly appreciated. Until next time, this is Ash. I will talk to you all later.